You're on the Mix 106.3. It's Mark and Lisa. Thursday morning, 11 after 8.
Women and diets, they just go together.
They do.
They just really go together. Body image has been a long-term issue, in our magazines, on the news, in all media. I mean, even if it's just in fun, Mark, even if it's in fun, even if it's like, there's always something, there's always that little voice, I know for me, in my head, Lisa, you do not need that piece of cheesecake. Lisa, you've had enough wine. Lisa, you don't need to eat that extra serve, or how big is that helping? Or I just think it's just something that as women, even if it's a subconscious thing, it's just always going on. I think the thing though is that when does that level of thought actually turn into a disease? And we've got three gorgeous ladies in our studio this morning.
We've been joined by Noelle, Hannah and Katy, and we should point out Noelle's not actually the first Noelle. I think she's about the 6th or the 7th or something. But now you guys are trying to change the world when it comes to eating disorders, but you're trying to change things basically in Canberra and around Australia. In what way? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, we just really want to make more services available to more people who have the illness, but not only to sufferers, also to family and friends who don't really have any kind of support network, as well as raising awareness in schools and with professionals as how to treat sufferers.
Now, Noelle, you just so I know we've got three of you here, but Noelle, you actually were diagnosed with bulimia. Is that
right.
correct? You can hear what I'm saying about, and there must have been a moment where you were all the time just thinking about what you were putting in your mouth. When did that actually turn into bulimia, and how did that happen?
Well, I've had an eating disorder for 6 years.
So hang on. Whoa. Hang on. So you're 18.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to tell me is that at the age of 12 you were diagnosed with an eating disorder.
No, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 16,
Right.
but behaviours hadn't really changed for 4 years before then.
Yeah.
So I consider that I've had an eating disorder for 6 years.
From the age of 12?
Yep.
That's
Very young, and it's quite unusual for bulimia to be in preteens and teenagers. It's usually in their 20s that bulimia is more common, but my diagnosis is a mixture of bulimia and EDNOS, which is eating disorder not otherwise specified, and that means that at the moment I don't fit the diagnosis for bulimia because I'm in recovery, so I'm not engaging in bulimic behaviours, but I still have the eating disorder mindset.
right.
Why?
Right.
Why did it happen?
Yeah,
or?
why? What was going through your mind? What were you going through? You must have been going through some incredible pain.
I was being bullied at school,
Yeah.
and I found that incredibly hard to deal with. I guess anyone who's been a victim of bullying will know what it's like. And I guess I didn't think, I'll develop an eating disorder, what a great idea.
No.
It just kind of happened. And I think for me it was a way to block out how I was feeling, and because if you're blocking out everything else, you can just focus on this one thing. And it was kind of a protective thing that I didn't have to feel anything else except the eating disorder, but then I was kind of stuck with it. And it's like having this little, not that I'm hearing voices or anything like that, but like having a little voice in your head that's going, you're too fat, you shouldn't be doing that, you're pathetic, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hannah and Katy are in with you this morning, and they've travelled similar but different paths. It's thanks to you guys for coming in as well.
Thanks.
We're fascinated by how you're getting people to break out and try and find freedom from what is this prison of eating disorders. Tell us about this. What we're doing with scales, with bathroom scales. Katy, what's going on?
All right. Noelle and I have been talking about this since January, so this has been in the works for a long, long time. And what we're doing is we're actually getting a lot of people to come along on Friday between 4 and 8 in Garuma Place to come and paint positive messages about body image on scales. And this is basically to raise awareness of eating disorders in the ACT, because it's something that's really hushed up quite a lot.
Yeah.
And people don't want to talk about it, or it's too shameful. And we want people to come out and speak out about it and say, hey, there's a problem and we need people to listen. We need more services. So
Hannah, why do you think there is such a problem? Is this because, so often we're accusing magazines, we're accusing the images that are presented to us by, fashion icons and so on. But from what I can gather from what Noelle just said before, her eating disorder was a direct result of bullying, which was not associated with any type of body image issue at all, originally.
I suppose a lot of it's a self-esteem thing, or a lot of the time it's I don't know. I guess magazines or that sort of thing, they definitely don't help with eating disorders, but I don't think you can blame something like that for eating disorders. And yeah, everyone gets an eating disorder for different reasons.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's a bit of a cop out to blame magazines, really.
Yeah. Noelle, we're going to have some girls listening to the radio station right now who are probably aware that there's some things going on in their life and the way that they deal with food which isn't right. And maybe they haven't shared it with anyone. If they believe that they're in a danger zone, what's your advice to them?
Well, I mean, there are different degrees of eating disorder, but whatever your headspace is at, it is so important to get help. I don't think that any of us can stress that enough. It's really important to see a doctor because medical management is really, really important with this illness. And it's really important to see a counsellor because it doesn't have to be like this.
Who did you see first?
First up, I actually went to a friend of mine. Well, actually, she came to me, I think would probably be the better way of saying it. And then from there, we saw a doctor. And then from there, well, I'm on my 9th counsellor now. So
it's so important, isn't it, if you notice some changing patterns with your friends and you think, hang on a second, she's not eating, or hang on, where is she disappearing to after we've eaten?
Yeah.
It's an important thing to perhaps raise that with the friend in question, yeah?
Definitely. And that's one of the things we want to change. We want to be able to change people's attitudes, like especially if you are at school and you're having issues with, possible, disordered eating type things. A lot of teenage girls will be like, oh, she's doing this for attention, she's putting this on, she wants our attention, and don't take it seriously. So it's important for people to recognise that it is a serious issue, and if you see someone close to you who might be having problems with this, to speak about it and not just say, oh, they're after attention, or something like that.
And just on how serious it is, this is an illness that has the highest fatality rate of any mental illness. And at the moment, as far as we know, it's sitting at about 20%. So that's 1 in 5 people with eating disorders will die from the illness.
That's crazy, isn't it? Hannah, Noelle and Katy, all power to you for standing up and getting your voices heard. Scaling the Heights to Freedom, part of National Youth Week Project 2008. If you want to find out more about this, the thing with the bathroom scales, just give them a bell at Youth in the City on 623 22 444, 623 22 444, and best of luck with it all.
Thank you.
And the ladies will be sticking around, so if you did have any questions for them, 6242 1063.